Hello, my quilty friends. It's Stacy of Stacy Creates Stuff, and today we are on week 5 of the Stars in My Garden Sew-Along quilt. If you are new here, welcome to my channel. I am a fiber artist and designer, and I love to make stuff. So I've been hosting this sew-along of a quilt that I designed, and if you would like to sew along with us, there is a link in the description below to my free download for the guide for cutting and your fabric requirements. If you love the fabrics that I used in my sample, they are available exclusively from my favorite quilt shop, Vintage Pink and Green. There's a link to that also in the description below. And if you want to follow along and be reminded every week that a new video is come out and instructions are on my website, then join my email list. We will be making 8 of these blocks, and to give ourselves a little reprieve from half square triangles and flying geese, we have a block that is mostly squares. Now I know what you're about to say, angles, but I have a simple, fast, easy way to make this block with no triangles involved. Let's get started. And now we are ready for block number 5. So let's look and see what's in this package. We have some 4.5-inch green squares, a whole lot of dark pink, some medium pink, and some green squares. This is a relatively simple block. We'll be taking the center green square, and we will be using the dark pink and putting one of these in each corner, sewing on the diagonal and popping that back. And we'll be doing the same for these other 2 corners, and that'll be the center of our block, and then these other squares will go around it to make a fun little pattern with this block. So what do we need to do? Mark on the diagonal of the dark pink square. So I'm just going to show you here. I'm using my sandpaper board. I have 1 square down there. Just going to go ahead and mark. And I'll repeat that for the others. And then again, I'll just know where to sew. And I'll be trimming off the excess. And of course, you can go ahead and sew about 1/2 inch away to have some half square triangles for a future project. Let's go ahead and stitch one of these up so you can see how it works. I like to sew 2 opposite corners first, and then after I have trimmed that away and pressed that back, I have this going on, and then I am ready to go ahead and sew the other 2 corners. Let's do that. You want to make sure that you trim off the excess before you sew on the last 2 dark pink squares. It'll just make your trimming a whole lot easier. Now that we have that center sewn, let's go ahead and lay out the rest of the block. So our corners are going to get the green squares. Our pieced unit there goes in the center. Then the dark pink goes 1 at the top, 1 on the side, 1 at the bottom opposite, and on the side opposite. And then the medium pink go in between, and that lays out our block. Now, this goes together a little differently because of this being 1 single piece. We need to sew these 2 together on the sides, and we need to then sew this as a row and the bottom one as a row. And then before we sew these rows together, of course, we need to sew these little wings to the center so that this becomes a complete row. And then we will sew all of the rows together to make our block. And we will make a total of 8 of these blocks. And here is our finished block. Remember, you need to make 8 of these in total. and they will all be exactly the same. So what did you think, my quilty friends? Pretty easy, wouldn't you say? And a very effective block. I really like how this one goes. And now that we can add that block in, well, we have finished another ring of our quilt working outward. And yes, you could stop here and have yourself a mini quilt. Not as mini as a couple of weeks ago, but a quilt nonetheless. Still at this point, it is square, and eventually it will be rectangular, but you have to stay for a few more weeks to find out how we do that. I appreciate that you have taken some time to join me today, and if you have made it this far, why not leave a sunshine emoji in the comments below? We've been having quite a bit of sunshine here, and it's kind of been warm, so pretty excited about that. I'll be back next week, my friends, and in the meantime, you can check out this.